Ooh,
And I just got another goddamn one in the house. What the hell?
yep,
Yes.
159, episode 159, and I'm wearing the same damn thing as in 158.
I love
I
Whoopsie.
it.
was gonna say something, but I was like, we've seen that top recently. But here I sit in my same Mary J. Blige t-shirt that I wear every Monday or Tuesday
Mhm.
because it comes out of the wash. So I got nothing.
Wait, should I go change?
No,
We are live, so talking about all the
No, I'm not
clothing here.
changing on camera. That's a
oh
different
shit.
kind of live
Hi
stream.
everybody. That is a different live
Hi.
stream.
Oh
That's
my
gonna cost
God.
you. This shit is free.
So welcome to the weird and wacky world of us. My house is haunted, I think, because I've got buzzy things that are coming in the house from either another dimension or from a hole that I can't find. So help me find the hole, you guys.
That's what she said.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you for
You're
saying that so
welcome.
I
I
didn't
could
have
not.
to.
Today we're talking about the Eight of Swords, and the Eight of Swords is a card about fear. In the Rider-Waite-Smith, you see a woman standing on murky ground. There's a lot of water on the ground. It's all muddy. She's got her arms tied behind her back. She's blindfolded, and she looks really sad, but her feet are not tied. So that always makes me think that there's something keeping her there that's not the swords. And what that is fear or trepidation, or being lazy, if I'm honest. Sometimes it's not fear. Sometimes people are just like, I don't want to. I don't want to get out of here. I like being here. And sometimes it's like you've been beaten down by complacency. Like you just
Mm.
can't push against anymore. You have to go with. Or it's not
Mhm.
safe for you to push against, maybe, you know? So there are all sorts of different reasons that people get trapped. And our job as tarot readers is to tell them how to get unstuck, right? So what do
Mhm.
you say to somebody when they get the Eight of Swords, Hillary?
Oh, sure. Put me on the spot, why don't you?
You're welcome.
Especially that one. Which ones are well, before we get into our favorites, actually, it dovetails pretty nicely into my favorite version of the Eight of Swords. Um, it's usually an acknowledgement like, yes, you are stuck, but you're also probably not as stuck as you think you are.
Mhm.
And I kind of liken it to a knot, like in your jewelry, like in your necklace or in a bracelet, where the harder you focus on the knot itself, the worse it gets. So you have to kind of like untangle yourself or get yourself free by looking at it from a different angle or making a small sacrifice in order to get free. And that's the
Right.
reason why I chose the Line Strider Tarot's Eight of Swords, because she's blindfolded, but there's that big old knot right there.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. I mean, like, have you ever tried to untangle a knot or
Yes, it makes me real mad.
and
Yeah.
it's just like you have to like it's just like, oh, it's not coming. And like
Mhm.
force is not gonna help either.
No, it takes patience, which is another thing, like tying back into what you just said, Hillary, and what Melissa said. The complacency or, safety, comfortable, like most people don't want to do something new or take that step away from their bondage, so to speak, because they're comfortable
Yeah,
Hmm.
and fear,
especially if the devil comes up too with the Eight of Swords,
Mhm.
it's like I definitely go for the devil you know versus the devil you don't know. You
Yeah.
know,
And
that
yeah.
comfort, you're familiar with that comfort. You know what's coming. Even if you hate it,
Mhm.
even if you don't like it, it's comfortable because there's a certainty there. There's a safety there in knowing that particular devil, quote unquote.
Right.
So it's just like, oh, do you really want like, and sometimes it is a choice and sometimes it isn't a choice.
Mhm. Yeah, no, this card, the uncertainty
Mm.
factor is something I'm going through in all aspects of my life, and it's tough. It's rough. 8 months ago, yeah, November, December. 9 months ago, I asked, for a release
Right.
from, a major relationship. And I'm living in my personal uncertainty hell in a way. I mean, I don't feel trapped like the Eight of Swords person, because this was something of my own making. I just, need the lantern from the hermit and good fortune from the wheel of fortune to be able to help me find my way out of all this.
There you go.
It requires patience. Just like that knotted necklace, you need, a handful of patience to be able to do all this stuff. So thank you,
Yeah.
Hilary. I really like that.
I mean,
Something
and
I learned.
there are certain points of it too, where it's just like I think both of you said it in the introduction to this card, where it's just like, is this of your own making? Because there is some of that, like, not in every situation, context is very important in the tarot.
Yes.
But when you're looking at the surrounding cards and then you get to the Eight of Swords, it's just like, okay, what responsibility can you take for your part in this situation, or your part in getting stuck? It could be even, like we said, the complacency. It's just like, maybe the choice not to make a decision is a decision in itself, but from that, maybe things got worse or got a little bit more tangled, and now you're in a little bit more of a more difficult situation than you were before. So it does have that kind of like taking responsibility and looking at your actions that brought you to this situation, not in a blaming or victim shaming kind of way, but more about like having that radical honesty with yourself. Like, what parts of this was my contribution to the stuckness?
Let me read from, I pulled mine from the Unveiled Tarot. Talk about a dovetail, sister. You may feel completely immobile, pinned down by routines and responsibilities, and unable to move while your soul is pulled out of your body and dissected by the demands of modern life. There is no denying the difficulties you face, but do not allow the situation to shut down your mind. Creative solutions do exist, and the biggest changes come from the hardest situations, which, like Forged in Fire, it's a thing. The hardest situations, we come out on the other side fucking shining. And it's because of hard work and determination and grit and not giving up and all of that stuff. Very like, it sounds like a bunch of John Wayne movies I just landed. True Grit.
Right.
True Grit.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But can you hold up that card again? Is that a frog being dissected?
Dissected.
Yes, it is.
But I love
that is brilliant.
That the frame has, basically the same, figure's face here. In the square, which I look at the square as the real meaning behind the card. In a way, it's that key. But yeah, I love that. Thank you for sharing.
This deck is very visceral. It makes you feel stuff. In other words, I like the Unveiled Tarot quite a bit. But yeah, it just, to me, it makes me feel like a woman. This is a woman in modern day society. We're just like food for everybody's eyes and feast for everybody's opinions. And if we are quiet about it, it just keeps happening and the swords keep piling fucking up. You know what I mean? And I think there's some amount, except in cases of abuse, I think there's some amount of complicity with the person who is standing in the swords of the Eight of Swords. I think that person is complicit in their own unhappiness. And whether or not they can change that right now or not is not up to anybody to say. But at some point they said, okay, I'll stand here.
Yeah. I'm allowing myself to be dissected.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. I'm allowing myself to be dissected because I don't know any other way out.
Yeah. This is so weird. But I was just watching a video on perimenopause and menopause about how it's, when you first become a woman, and here's the chemicals that come in to allow you to so it's basically the independence chemicals, because you're moving into a different stage where it's just like, instead of being supported by your parents, you now have the capability to become a parent and become the nurturer or whatever. And then so your chemicals, allow you through that, or give you what you need to be able to become that. And then with perimenopause and menopause, it's more about the chemicals go out, and it's like kind of like fuck it, and now it's just like now it's my time to be, become who I am. And it's like a very like turn inward kind of moment, and not pleasing anybody else and not being a function of anybody else. So this whole like having that card be a card of like dissection, where it's just like, what can I get for, like, it's almost like, what can I get from you? Like looking at a woman and being like, okay, what can I take from you? What can I get from you? How can you serve me?
Yeah. Yeah, there was this really
I
amazing
serve
picture
no
I saw.
one.
Well, someone had cut out the breasts and the vagina and hip bones of a person, and they were stacked over to the side. And it said, "Now will you leave me alone?"
Yeah,
And I think about that every time I think of like people giving Zendaya shit or picking on people who are in the spotlight or whatever. I'm like, can they give you anything else? Is there anything else you fucking need?
Right.
Like they've already there's her face, there's her body, there's her acting, there's her work. Everything is at your, what else do you want? What do you want from this woman?
exactly.
You know? And
Yeah.
I feel like that way sometimes as a mother when the kids were younger, I felt very much like, is there another fucking thing that I can get for anybody today? And now that the kids are older and they need their mama, but they don't need me every second of every day.
Yeah.
Um,
You
Now I
did your
have to
job.
figure out what I need. Yeah, I did. I did a
Mhm.
great job. My kids are amazing. Um, but it was really hard to come back from that expectation that everybody wants something from me, because now I'm entering the world as an adult without needy children and without like at home needs really. And as a person reintroducing myself to society, what do I want? Where do I
Mhm.
want
Yeah.
to stand? You know? I don't
Yeah.
want anybody to tell me where to stand or that I should put my head down or any of that shit, you
Mhm.
know?
Yeah, it's almost
Word.
like the flip side of the Eight of Swords, like you have this apathy almost. It's just like, okay, I'm in this quagmire, might as well, get myself comfortable here. And so you have this apathy, and you have this is another part of the interpretation of the Eight of Swords. It's just like your way of thinking. It's just like it might not be the circumstances, which may or may not be of your own making, but how you choose
Right.
to think about those circumstances, because thoughts have power, and you're not
Word.
necessarily able to think your way out of a situation. Some cards will come up to say, hey, you can't think your way out of this.
Yeah.
You can't talk your way out of this. You can't think your way out of this. You need to feel your way. In this case, I think the Eight of Swords is thinking your way out and
We
thinking
need it.
about different perspectives, to be able to go in there and tease that knot free rather than muscling through.
Mhm. I love that, to think your way out of any situation. Because
Yeah.
again, you can't use your body because it's all tied up and you can't see. So you
Well,
got to use your ears and, instinct or,
and
sense.
the Wild Unknown Tarot has a cocoon next to a bunch of sharp knives. And you know that if the butterfly hatches, it's going to cut its wings to ribbons. But if it doesn't hatch, it'll die.
Right. So
So
either way,
you have a moment where in a decision where you go, am I going to be stuck until there's no other choice for me? Or am I going to make a choice before the universe makes it for me?
Word.
Right? Am I going to choose to bounce before I get cut to ribbons or die? Like cuts heal, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
But death is forever. And
Dude.
yeah.
I know I have clients who were in like just the worst relationships.
Hmm.
And they're like, well, it's been 22 years. I can put up with 23. And I'm like, Jesus Christ on a crutch. You don't have to.
Yeah.
But they're
Take it
resigned
from
to it.
somebody.
That
Yeah.
they're comfortable, they're comfortable and they're resigned to it. I was comfortable in a not so good marriage for 12 years, you know?
I,
Right.
I, I love that you two are kind of hitting on things that I need in my life right now. And this
Oh, it's
card,
not on purpose, love.
but
We must be psychic or
yeah,
psycho, or wait,
it's
both.
like I'm psycho, you're psychic. I don't know. But my take on this card to lend into the Reader's Studio, aka the Tarot School, I've got their correspondence course, and on this card, they suggest this is an almost a magical, Western magical initiation, where a lot of them would
Yes.
bind you, blindfold you, and you have to trust yourself, your senses, the universe to, take you away from all these swords. Like the swords themselves are on their flat bit. They're not at the cut, at that edge. So they can
Right.
still bump into them and figure their way out or just step forward,
Yeah.
and, be free. I mean, the other thing is that there's this, castle or temple or, thing off in the distance. So they've been isolated from everybody else who could possibly help them or, call out. So that's that. With the triple goddess, I liked the idea of making it a maze. So this is another crone card. And we have a crone. I wanted the crone to actually have everything unbound, whether they were bound before and then they broke. I wanted this idea of seeking and searching and looking for a better location. And as you can tell, I also have that, hill, and we've got a sunset because with this being the 8, and the 9 and the 10 are kind of more, typical, oh my God, nobody wants to have those cards in. I wanted to have, this idea of the sunset as we move through the rest of them. On the flip side, I'm using the Westwood Tarot, and it's got a chonky book. So this is Yasmin
Gotta love.
Westwood. Yep.
I like
and
big books and I
Calliope.
cannot lie.
So this is their 8 of Swords. I know why the caged bird sings. And in this case, the bird is kind of upside down looking for that way out, which we could kind of see, the bird cage door, and it's not open, or this part looks open, but the bird still hasn't, figured out what to do because all they can see
Very
is
Five of
through the
Pentacles moment.
bars.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
It's like you're
So-
hey, dumbass, you're looking the wrong way.
So the book has a poem, keywords and concepts, talks about love, career, wellness, finances, sword, magic, wisdom, and a spirit guide, with this being the canary. So again, it's also like the canary in the coal mine type of a thing where, they're sending the initiate into, hey, are you going to live or die? But we're not going to, let you come out. We're going to keep you in this cage. So the bits I want to read, though, I want to read the poem. And then there's a quote at the end that is really good. So here's the card again. The melody of my soul haunts me. Notes taste bittersweet. Safe boundaries I create, keeping away others in retreat, waiting for a night's rescue, playing the damsel in distress. Relying on others to save me is making my life a bigger mess. So kind of also going back to what I love Hilary's face. She's got her own face on. But yeah,
that's such a gut punch.
It is. This is kind of a sucker punch card when you can't find your way out of a situation because there's so much fucking uncertainty. Not that I know how this is going. You want to kind of lash out, or you want to just, be caged and just accept, whatever fate you have. The quote says, and I like this too, it's by Lydia Longorio, Longorio. I started to build a home with all the walls I was putting up for myself. But when I finished, I realized I had built a cage and didn't make a key.
Oh, no.
Oh, fuck me on a biscuit. Jeez.
Yeah.
That's going to be tricky.
Yeah.
We're going to crack the biscuit.
Yeah. So this deck is, I love the book. The deck is kind of a little bit bubblegum for me. But the book and the way that the images come together after you read
like
sections of the
The
book,
weight
it's
of
like,
those chains
ugh.
on top of that cage, like, look how fat those chains are.
Those are fat
That's
chains.
crazy. That's
And yet
crazy.
there's this, and there's this ribbon, this red ribbon that, holds the chain, the lighter chain that's going up to wherever, but these thicker chains that are like there. All the swords are pointing up.
Putting their weight
almost.
behind it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude.
I don't know. I think my little vivisected froggy here, poor thing. just I think that it just goes to show like how stuck we can get, how stuck
Right.
like because of reputation, because of objectification, because of judgment, because of what people think we should be doing or think we
Oh,
should look like or
the
think what we
shoulds.
should weigh, you know,
But
and
yeah,
yeah, that's where
it also
strength comes
goes back,
in.
yeah, during,
Fuck you.
strength, fortitude, um, they don't, I mean, they are inherent in some of us. However, they are learned. It's like a discipline.
Yeah,
You have to, I don't want to use the term negative, but some situations that we might interpret as bad or hard, that's where we build our strength from. That inner
yeah.
strength is going through these hard times, like Liz said, getting up in the morning at 6 a.m. to go running at the gym.
Writing a
By the way,
thousand
that's
words a day.
Jaymi. That's Jaymi right there.
Hey,
Because
there
Yeah.
was
I
this
ain't
thing
going.
that made me think of the Eight of Swords, and it was this
Mhm.
video of a woman walking past an abortion clinic, and this man goes, "Ma'am, do you know what's going on in there?" And she goes, "Fuck off!" And then she turns to the people, like the escorts, and she goes, "Thank you guys." And then he goes, "Have a blessed day," and she goes, "Go fuck yourself." And I was like, I love that for her.
Yeah,
And just the very like, I'm not going to tolerate your judgment of women today. I'm not going to put up with it. Go fuck yourself. Like that, I found that to be very liberating. And the fast way that she did it, go fuck yourself. I was like, yes, get him.
Yeah.
And I think we need more moments like that, especially as we get older, because we're
hmm
fearless now, because we've been through this shit. So
yeah,
it's our job as middle-aged white women, we've talked about this before, to put ourselves between people who are more vulnerable than us and bad behavior, you know?
Yep.
And I think
Yep.
that this Eight of Swords is asking us to free ourselves from the past so that we can make a wider path and a clearer path for the young women who are growing up today. You know what I
exactly.
mean?
Yeah.
Because
By the
yeah.
way, Nat is here. Hello, Nat.
Hi,
Bye,
Nat.
Nat.
We would love to hear your favorite Eight of Swords if you have one, and
Yes.
also what the Eight of Swords means to you. We love audience participation. But yeah, this has taken a real turn, but like I
hmm
love how the tarot can show up in everyday life when you're not thinking about these esoteric things. You're just
Trying to survive.
listening to a video on perimenopause and wanting to hear like if somebody else had your experience too. It's just like, am I crazy? And it's just like, yeah, a little bit, but also you're not alone in that.
Right.
No, you're not.
But like
I mean,
having
No, you
that
know.
on display kind of thing where it's just like
mhm.
I'm just trying to exist. Like I had a moment. This is not as as important as walking past a up like a Planned Parenthood or a clinic or whatever. It's like fuck off. But it's just like I was in the grocery store on Sunday and my husband was in the other aisle and I'm in this aisle and a man like just a stranger comes over to me and says slide over and
The
and
fuck are
I'm
you
just like, so
talking
I
to?
slid over and I looked him in the face and I was just like, an excuse me there would not have gone amiss. And maybe
Right?
a year ago, I would have been like, and
Sorry,
slid
I'm
over.
sorry I
And now it's
did.
just like, dude, like the audacity. And it's just like, and now I think it's a very, I guess, Eight of Swords or a
Yeah.
reaction to the Eight of Swords, where it's just I'm not here for you.
hmm
I'm not here for you. I'm not the one anymore.
Yep.
I have broken free of
Or
those ties
I'm
and I
not
am
scooting
walking
over.
freely.
Mhm.
I'm not
Or
scooting over.
I'm not scooting over because you're gonna, man spread in my space. It's like, fuck you. This is my area. I was here
Well,
first. You go
I saw
sit
an
next.
animation. I wanted to bring this up at the end of things. Did we all share our cards? Hillary
I,
hasn't shown. Okay.
well, she
We'll
briefly
share
did.
it now, and then we'll share Nats.
Oh, it
Yeah.
was just this really cool animation of the Eight of Swords where she pulls like she shakes free of the binds that hold her and reaches up, whips off her blindfold and grabs a sword and starts walking away. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
I saw that.
oh,
It's just like, oh
amazing.
no.
She's gonna kill you now. I know that
I
look.
love those. I love those
that so much.
animations. I think they're
Yeah.
That's what I need to
fantastic.
have happen. Every
Yeah.
Eight of Swords person that's stuck there, please find a sword. Grab
Rip off
one.
your blindfold, grab a
Yep.
sword, time to go charging in. So Nat says the Eight of Swords is really like the mental masturbation card for me. Like, stop chasing
Ooh.
intrusive thoughts and hurting your own feelings. And
Oh.
Nat also says menopause has unleashed Hilary's inner New Yorker. Well, I mean, I am a New Yorker, so it's not
Well,
entirely inner, but
no.
I'm getting there. The British has been concealing, I think. The
No,
British upbringing has concealed the New Yorker. She's
Yeah.
coming free. So
No, I mean, I'm in Perry as well, but I don't get hot flashes. I
I've gotten
sweat a
one.
lot for running, but I'm just lucky. I'm hoping, knock on my desk here, fake wood, particle board. I just hope that I never, get the true experience. I've had friends that I've gone over their house and it's weird. 1 minute they're fine. The next, it's just a dump of sweat. It's weird.
okay.
It's
So we were talking about this offline, but since we're sharing, I'm just like, I don't care. I'm
sharing
just
is
like, so
caring.
sharing is caring, but it's just like, I got my first ever hot flash on Saturday. I'm hoping it's a hot flash, because if it wasn't a hot flash, I don't want to know what it was, but I'm pretty sure it was. And I was out with my husband and my father-in-law, and God bless my father-in-law. He was just like, I know what that's all about with my wife. And he's just like, I hear you. He was like this, like, so sweet.
Oh, bless her
And he
heart.
was saying to his son, it's just like, listen, I can help you, son.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
let me
amazing.
explain to you what's going to happen in the next few years. And I'm just like, God
All the
bless
chocolate.
you.
All the
It's so
chocolate.
sweet.
Just,
Thank you.
Yeah, all the chocolate and all the understanding. Who's Clonkin 4? Is the Eight of Swords, in y'all's opinion,
Owning.
a minor arcana version of the Hanged One sometimes? Oh, good question. The 8 you have some kind of control over, whereas the Hanged One is a massive pay attention moment. I would liken the Eight of Swords to the Devil card, rather than the Hanged Man, but in some instances, yeah, it kind of.
Well, I was adding up the numbers with Hangman. It's 12. If you add two,
It's Daddy.
it becomes. It's big. Okay.
Yeah,
Yay!
it's
Hi,
Daddy.
Daddy.
Hi, Daddy. Oh.
Which reduces down to 3. But I made a mistake of thinking 12 reduced to 4, and 4 is the Emperor multiplied to 8 to the strength by 2. But I am not a math person. I'm a tarot reader and a writer. But in any case, I like, I was thinking the same thing there, Daddy. It's, where you can kind of see them. And I would almost recommend you put, all your decks and cards next to each other, so that, we can see what all that stuff, how it compares and contrasts. But,
I need to say, for those of you listening on the audio, on your different podcast platforms, I encourage you to come back and watch the replays of some of these episodes on our YouTube channel, because like otherwise you're not going to get my facial reactions with some of this, and
which is real important, because that's all I'm watching.
It's important.
So to wrap up, wait, do we all talk about our cards yet?
Hillary needs to do a little bit more on her card.
More. You
already did. Oh, she started.
Yeah, I did. I started us because it dovetailed really nicely with some of the stuff that we were saying. But I mean, I can talk more about this particular depiction, but like to answer Daddy's question about the Eight of Swords, I do see it as more relating to the Devil card, but Jaymi's suggestion of like spreading out the cards of the ones that you think has like a tie through it, I think that would be an excellent way to really understand, like, are there connections here? Because yes, it can be a Hanged One kind of like timing. Like, I think the Hanged One is kind of more as timing, while the Devil card is more about like releasing yourself from the bonds. But the Eight of Swords from the Line Strider Tarot, which I chose, Ciola Thompson says what the traditional symbology is. I want it to be a little less literal in my version. I use the image of a loose knot to indicate that sense of confusion or bondage that the querent might feel, and a blindfold to invoke the idea that the querent either can't or won't see their way to freedom. Like the Devil card, the Eight of Swords often indicates self-imposed issues. So again, very like swordsy, very mind, you know? Yeah, thank you for holding up the Devil and the Eight of Swords.
Well, and then, we also have temperance and strength.
But there is a mention here in the guidebook too about the Eight of Swords and the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man, if it comes up in the reading with the Eight of Swords, may indicate that you were delaying an inevitable decision, even though it is causing you suffering. Interesting. Really interesting.
And I'm putting the two side by side. This is what we get. Which I love
so
to
you've
read.
got one that can't walk away and one that can, but is afraid to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and this one can walk away,
but is busy. He's busy changing and transforming and looking at the world in a new way.
I mean, like, in the This Might Hurt deck, we got more of a lumberjack, kind of a Pac Northwest, person. And I'm pretty secure that, anybody this way, and if they have enough strength, they can just, fold up, cut or untie, and then drop. But
That's
there's
like
that
in that Shadowscape deck where the guy's hanging off. He's just hanging by his legs. He can swing down anytime. He just is busy. He's busy doing shit in his brain. So to wrap up, I hope that if you find yourself in the Eight of Swords, that you can feel the support of your friends and loved ones in the universe pushing you away from those swords so that you can feel confident enough to get out of those bounds so that you can unblindfold yourself, grab one of those fucking swords and fuck shit up.
For homework, I wrote down, I think this is a combination of what you both said earlier. What responsibility can you take in a situation you feel stuck or uncertain? Think about how you can unbind yourself and step into a more correct path or right path.
Well, I don't like that at all. That homework can kiss my ass.
No, thank you. I will be resending. I'll send that back to you. Daddy also mentioned
the work. Damn it!
I know.
Daddy also mentioned in the chat the differences in the Thoth and the RWS with the card math is wild, especially with the 8s and hence the 4s as well. So that could be something to consider as well within your homework if you choose to accept it, looking at the differences between the RWS and the Thoth. And Nat is just like, when I'm just listening, Jaymi's voice sounds eerily similar to Teresa Reed's.
Really? Well, I'll take that as a compliment because I love
I'm sure it's meant as a compliment.
We love T.
We love her. Reed.
So the last thing I want to, just put out there is today is our friend Connie Kick birthday. So she's my goober buddy, and she's also your dick to her, right?
Sit at a table with Connie Kick.
No,
if you have to pay attention, if you don't want to get in trouble. But if you want to have a really good time.
I got in trouble by Farrell Humphrey. The woman's name is Farrell, okay? She could eat me.
F-E-R-O. Dude, Farrell.
She is fierce. And I got in trouble for snort laughing because Connie sneezed and then choked it back and I didn't know what the fuck was going on. Stop laughing.
I was at that table and I was laughing my ass off and trying to hide behind a picture as well. Like, or the paper, doing one of these.
I got called out so hard.
I think we all were at that table.
Yeah. Trouble table.
Yeah. Oopsie.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
Love you, Farrell.
I'm sorry, Farrell. My bad. These bitches were making me laugh.
And happy birthday, my goober twin. I love you.
Happy birthday, Connie. We love you.
Yep. Happy birthday, Connie.
Friend
Thanks for getting us in trouble.
Thanks for getting us in trouble. All right, everybody. Have a great day and
Bye.
go live your best lives.